So on page 369, you guys talked about the relationships between dollars and place values and fractions. So if you look at this chart here, you've got your decimals up top right here, your fractions here, and money here. And so they're starting in the hundred spot here. 100 ones would look like 100, and here's your little decimal point. This would be 100 over 1. And then this right here, a Benjamin Franklin, that's a $100 bill. And then it moves down to the next place value. Then you've got your $10 bill, 10 over 1 as your improper fraction, and then 10 with your decimal point right here. Your next one is 1 over 1, which is 1 whole, and $1. Now you've got your big decimal point here. When your big decimal point is here, everything on this side is less than 1. So it's in the coins. I haven't gotten to a whole dollar yet. So you've got 10 cents, 1/10, and 1/10. And then you've got 0 and 100th, 100th, and a penny. Are there any questions about that chart right there? That chart is a really important chart for you to kind of understand and see how it's laid out. This is representing your different place values here. So our place value system in America is based on a base 10 place value system. So keep that in mind. It's all about tens. You're counting by tens, okay? So down here, they ask you to make some numbers, and if you wanted, you could have cut out the numbers in your practice book page. But I want to check and see how you did on this next page here. So I want you should be checking your work here. It's something you should have done on Friday. Right here, you're writing each one of these mixed numbers as a decimal. What did you write for number 3, Addison?
I wrote 3 and 1/10.
Good. Did it look like that?
Yeah.
Awesome. Give Addison a clap and a half. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Kalyan, what did you write for number 4?
I wrote 5 and 7/100.
How did you write that? Did you put a 0 and then 7, or did you put a 7 and then a 0?
I put a 0 and then a 7.
Good. So she's making sure the 7 is in the 100th spot. Good job, Kalyan. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Michaela, how did you do number 5?
I did 2 and 46/100.
Good. I love how everyone who's answered so far has used and in place of that decimal point there. So it's 2 and 46/100. Great job, Michaela. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And what did you write for number 6, Alana?
I wrote 28 and 9/10.
Good. Nice job. 1, 2, 3. These next directions here are flipping it. Instead of asking you to write the decimal, they're giving you the decimal and asking you to write it as a mixed number. So if I was looking at this one, 12 and 8/10, if I'm reading it correctly, I can write that pretty easily as a fraction because I'm doing 12 and 8/10. So 8 over 10. Who can tell me what number 8 is? Let's do Finn. Finn, what is number 8?
3 and 5/100.
How did you write that as a fraction?
I wrote down 3, and then I wrote 5/10.
Ooh, tenths or hundredths?
Hundredths.
Thanks, Finn. 1, 2, 3. Okay. For number 9, Mason, can you share what you put for number 9? did you put for number 9, Mason? Unmute yourself.
Unmute, Mason.
I did.
There you go. Did you have a whole number there, Mason?
Mason, you have to answer something.
I just found.
Then just say you just found it.
Did you have a whole number?
What number again?
We're on number 9.
I had 4.84 and 8,500.
Good. So you put 85 over the hundreds like this? Nice work, Mason. Give him a clap and a half. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then Taya, I'm going to have you do the last one there, number 10.
49 and 7/10.
Okay. So 7 over 10. Good. This next section was talking about the word names. So you were reading it as 61/100ths, and then you were supposed to write it as the decimal. I'm going to give you the answers, and you see how you did. So 0 and 61/100ths. If you forgot the 0 there, it's not a big deal because it has no value, so it wouldn't change how much you have, but it's nice to put the 0 there to make sure that people don't miss your decimal point. 6 and 14/100ths, 70 and 8/10ths. Make sure you put your 0 in the one spot there for 70. And then 55 and 6/100ths would mean you need a 0 in the 10th spot, a 6 in the 100th spot. If you wrote that like this, you would be saying 55 and 6/10ths, which is a different value. Okay? Give yourself a star for each one of those that you got correct. So hopefully you got all 4 of those right. Okay? When we're doing expanded form, remember expanded form means we're pushing it out for each of the place value. So I would say 8 plus 2/10ths. 100 plus 6 plus 2/10ths plus 4/100ths. Okay. Let's try number 19. So 300 plus 10 plus 2. I don't have any tenths, but I do have 9/100ths. Okay. Who can tell me, by waving their hand, how to write number 18 in expanded form? Tell me how to do that. Who can tell me how to do number 18? Let's do Megan. Megan, how did you write number 18 in expanded form?
I did 50 plus 7/10ths plus 7/100ths.
Great work, Megan. And Owen B, I saw your hand raised. Can you do number 20 for us?
You do 693
Ooh, plus 90.
plus 90 plus 3 and plus 0 seconds
0
and
and
then plus what?
0 and 2/10ths, and then 0.
0 and 4/10ths. I got 400ths.
Good job. That was a tough one. Give Megan and Owen B a clap and a half. 1, 2, 3. Okay, follow along as I highlight and read here. It says, there are 100 pennies in a dollar. A jar contains $20. You add 8 pennies to the jar. What decimal represents the number of dollars in the jar? You add, so there are 100 pennies in a dollar. A jar contains $20. You add 8 pennies to the jar. What decimal represents the number of dollars in the jar? Is there extra information that you really don't need in this question? Who can raise their hand and tell me? Is there extra information that they are trying to confuse you with? Hey, O and B, I need you to mute yourself. Okay. All right. So the extra information in this video here is, or in this word problem, is the 8 pennies. You don't need that information, and if you take it out, it's a lot easier. There are 100 pennies in $1. A jar contains $20. What decimal represents the dollars in the jar? I don't like this question. Let's pause it, okay? I want you guys, let's go over to our practice here, and these should be new problems for you. I'm going to set my timer on my iPad for 3 minutes, and I want you to see how many you can get done, starting with number 1, going through number 11. You might get all 11 done, you might just get 3 done, but in the next 3 minutes, I want you to practice putting each one of these into decimal form. Are you ready to go? On your marks, where's my timer?
Wait, what page is it on?
This is on your Unit 7, Lesson 11 practice. It's what you should have grabbed from Schoology.
Okay.
Okay? So it should be on Notability. Go ahead, work on numbers 1 through 11. Should be, number 1 should be 0 and 9/10. Number 2 should have been 21/100. Number 3 should have been 0 and 4/100. Make sure you had a 0 there holding your 10th spot. Number 4 is 3/10. Number 5, 0 and 1/100. Number 6, 5 and 6/10. Number 7 I highlighted. That's a tricky one. 37/10. If I write that like this, what I'm really writing is 37/100. How would I write 37/10 correctly? Who can tell me? Raise your hand if you know. How would I write 37/10 correctly? Reese, help us out on this one.
I did 3 and 7/10.
Reese, that's exactly right. How did you figure that out? Can you explain your thinking?
So since there is 30 and 37, I split, so I put 3 on the other side, and the left of it was 7, so I put 7 on the other side.
So are you pretty much saying that you kind of made this improper fraction kind of into like a mixed number? Because 10 goes into 30 3 times, and then I have 7 left over? That was really smart to make that into a mixed number. I was at first confused by that one, and it made me kind of check myself. So if you got that one wrong, that is okay. That was a tricky one. But remember, this is an improper fraction, so hopefully you were like Reese, and you made that into an improper fraction to make sure this 7 ended in the 10th spot. Number 8 is 1 and 8/100. Number 9 is 0 and 2/100. That was 2 cents, which is 2 pennies. Then 24 and 3/10, 70 and 68/100. We just did a few expanded forms. I did want to look at this chart. Who can tell me, who can analyze this chart here? Tell me what you notice about this chart here. Who can tell me? Wave your hand if you kind of can tell me. Just some things that you notice. What do you think? Michaela, what do you notice? And then when Michaela's done, JJ, can you tell me what you notice? And then when JJ's done, I want Bryn to tell me what she notices. Go ahead, Michaela.
I noticed that it has a key, and each soccer ball equals 1 goal.
Awesome. All right, JJ, what do you notice?
I noticed that Amy and Paco have the same, and Joey and Lisa have the same.
Oh, that's a really good observation. Okay. And Bryn, what do you notice?
I noticed that there are 4 people in the graph.
Yeah, Amy, Joey, Lisa, Paco. Anyone else notice something that was not mentioned? Anything extra that wasn't mentioned? Megan, what do you notice?
But at least everybody has 2.
Okay, everyone has at least 2 goals. Can we just count up how many total goals everyone has? So Amy has 2. Write this on your paper with me. 2. Joey has 3. Lisa has 3. And Paco has 2. How many total goals do we have all together? Asa, can you tell me how many total I have all together?
You have 10 goals altogether.
Okay, so all in all, we have 10 altogether. Thank you, Asa. So, what is the decimal part of the goals that Amy scored? Well, if Asa told me that there were 10 total goals, I could do 2/10, but I need to write that as a decimal. So, who can tell me what the decimal of that would be? Shavi, you need to mute yourself, please, okay? Who can tell me what the decimal could be? Let's do Savante. Can you tell me what the decimal of this one would be? Savante, are you there? How about Taya? Can you tell me what the decimal would be?
Are we on number 15?
Yep.
Decimal part 2/10.
So 0 and 2/10. Okay. Okay, and how about what is the decimal part that Joey scored? Jide, can you tell me the decimal part that Joey scored? Jide, the decimal point that Joey scored?
Oh, 0.3.
Good. 0. Instead of saying point, let's say and 3/10.
Okay.
Okay? The last question is number 17. It says, what decimal part of the goal did both Paco and Lisa score together? Let's have Shavi. Can you answer that one for me, please?
Are we on number 17?
Yes, we are.
Okay. It's 5/10.
Good. 0 and 5/10. Okay. Number 18 says, a football field is 100 yards long. What decimal part is 7 yards? Who can tell me that? Finn. Can you tell me that one, Finn?
Zero and 7/100.
Good work. Fourth graders, I think we might be pretty close